The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Self-respect is a pride in self. Dear children, today I am going to begin this session by sharing my view on self-respect. Elderly people used to say that we should respect and obey our parents. We should love and care our younger ones, as well as we should help others. All these qualities lead to a good life. But my dear children, to develop or to lead a good life, there should be one more quality we should inculcate in us, and which is the base for all these qualities, and it is self-respect. The more you believe in yourself, the more you will be confident and you will be feeling the love and respect for yourself, and this will lead to a happy life. You should be honest in your life. You should know who you are, and then only you will be having that respect for you. My dear children, in this world there are many people, there are children who are born with physically retarded, mentally retarded, or they may be having many diseases. So we can thank God as we are blessed. God has given us this life which is unique, which is beautiful. We should respect this body, because when we respect this body, then only we will be able to show kindness to this body, and the internal feeling of respect will be there towards this body. My dear children, never compare yourself with others. It is rightly said, comparison is the enemy of joy. When you compare to someone else with yourself, you will be lacking your self-respect, and you will be digging into negative aspect of life, and you will never lead a happy life. See, my dear children, when you see the mirror or when you look the mirror, you can see yourself. You should feel happy because you are unique, you are special, and the God has created you differently from others. So respect yourself, my dear children. The more you are respecting yourself, the more you will be happier in your life. By saying these words, I will switch on to the next lesson, that is chapter 2, Plant Kingdom. And in this chapter we are going to study about plant kingdom, and the plant kingdom is classified as algae, bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperm and angiosperm. So 5 classes are there in plant kingdom. We are going to study in detail about these 5 classes. So here we go. The classification system can be divided into 3 types. artificial system of classification, natural system of classification, phylogenetic system of classification. So, these are the 3 different types of classification system. Artificial system of classification. In this type of classification, the plants were classified on the basis of few easily observable morphological characters such as habit, color, number and shapes of leaves, etc. So, what is artificial system of classification? It is a type of classification where the plants are classified on the basis of few observable characters. With our eyes we can observe the characters, and those characters are how their habit is, what is their color and what is the number and shape of the leaves. Now, example, already we studied about the system of classification given by Linnaeus, which was not accepted by the scientific world, isn't it? The drawback of this system is that closely related species were separated and placed in separate groups. The disadvantage of this system is that the closely related species, they were placed separately in separate group. Number 2, differing plants were placed in same group. Those plants who were having different characters, different features, they were placed in same group. Equal weightage was given to vegetative and sexual characters. Equal weightage was given to the vegetative as well as the sexual characters, that is the gamete formation, isn't it? The sex organs all are coming in sexual character, and vegetative means the stem, root, leaf. So, these 2 characters were given equal weightage by this system of classification, and it was not accepted by the scientific world. Now, number 2, natural system of classification. In this system of classification, not only the external features but also the internal features like anatomy, embryology, etc. are taken into consideration. It has been said that in the natural system of classification, the scientists, they took not only the external feature but they also included the internal features like anatomy. Anatomy is the internal structure of a plant. Embryology, it is a study of embryo. All these features were also taken into consideration for classifying the plants. Example, classification of flowering plants given by George Bantam and Joseph Dalton Hooker. George Bantam and Joseph Dalton Hooker, they were the 2 scientists who gave the natural system of classification. Artificial system of classification was given by Linnaeus, and it is based on the classification of flowering plants where they took not only the external features but also the internal features, and this system now also it is being accepted, and based on this system the classification is being done in the case of plants. Third one is phylogenetic system of classification. In this system of classification, organisms are classified on the basis of evolutionary and genetic relationship. Here it has been said that the organism, they were classified on evolutionary and genetic relationship, that is based on DNA or the genes or the chromosome which are present there in the organism. Based on that the classification is being done in this type of system. Example, Ehlers classification, Engler and Prandtl's classification, etc. Ehlers, Engler and Prandtl, all these are the scientists, and they have given this phylogenetic system of classification to classify the organism. Now, next one is related to the numerical taxonomy. And what is taxonomy? Taxonomy means it is naming the organism, isn't it? And here numerical taxonomy is based on statistical methods. It utilizes calculating machines and computers for evaluation of similarities and difference between the different species. Numerical, from the name itself we can say, by using computers or the calculating machines. This taxonomy was used for finding out or for evaluating the similarities as well as the difference between the species. Next one is cytotaxonomy. Taxonomy of organism by the use of their cytological character. Cytotaxonomy. Cyto means cytology. Cytology means it is the study of cell of an organism. So, the naming of organism is being done by the use of their cytological characters, isn't it? In the cell, what all characters are present there, based on that thing the naming of the organism is being done, and that type of taxonomy is called cytotaxonomy. Now, next one is chemotaxonomy. From the name itself we can say chemo. Chemo means by using chemical constituents. What chemical constituent is present there in the body of the plant? Based on that thing the classification was done and the naming of the species is been done. So, that is about the classification given by different scientists. Now, we are going to study and understand about the first class of plant kingdom, and it is algae. These are chlorophyll bearing thalloid plants. Already you may be knowing what is the meaning of thalloid. Thalloid means where the body of an organism is not differentiated into root, stem or leaf. So, algae is a thalloid plant and it is having chlorophyll. So, these are the certain figures of or pictures of algae. You can see on the wall, normally we can see on the wall the algae used to be seen in between the rocks. Here you can see on the stone in the river. So, these are the different types of algae. Now, algae, they are autotrophic organism. Already we know what are autotrophic or what is autotrophic, and here it has been said the branch of botany which deals with the study of algae is called phycology. Phycology is the branch of botany which is dealing with the study of algae. The silent features of algae are, or we can say the characteristics of algae are: number one, the thallus is unicellular flagellated. They are unicellular and they are having flagella. Flagellated means they are having flagella, and already we know that flagella, they are the locomotory organ which is helping the body of an organism to move from one place to another place. Example, Chlamydomonas. Now, again the thallus may be non-flagellated, that is they may not be having flagella. Example, in the case of Chlorella. Chlorella is an algae in which the flagella is absent, and sometimes some algae they may be in colonial form. Example, Volvox. Colonial form, already we studied this thing in the previous class or previous chapter. Colonial form, that means in colonies we can see them. Multicellular filamentous, or they may be multicellular. Till now we have understood that they are unicellular, flagellated, non-flagellated, colonial form. Now it is also said that algae, they are multicellular filamentous. They are having numerous cells and they are seen as filaments. Example, Spirogyra. These are the examples of algae. All these things are important, my dear children, you have to study. And the next one is flattened leaf-like algae also we can see. Example, Laminaria. Flattened leaf-like structure algae we can see, and they are Laminaria. Here you can see certain algae are there, First one I told you, unicellular flagellated, example Chlamydomonas, flagella is present in them. Second one I told you, non-flagellated, that is chlorella, they don't have flagella, isn't it? This flagella is absent in them. This is chlorella. And in the colonial form, this is volvox. You can see in the colonial form we can see. And later on we studied that they are multicellular and they are filamentous, that is Spirogyra. Filament, hair like thread like structure you can see. These are Spirogyra. And then we came to know about flattened leaf like structures are also there. And they are laminaria, leaf like, they are leaf like. So, these are certain algae related to their thallus. Now, next one, algae may be free floating or attached form. They may be free floating. If they are aquatic, we can see them floating on the water, or they may be attached on the substratum. Attached, just now we have seen, isn't it? Here you can see this is the attached form and this is a free floating form. Here you can see in the water they are free floating, but here in the case of rock or here we can see they are attached, isn't it? So, we can say that algae, they are free floating or attached form. The attached form of algae fix their body with the help of anchoring structure called hold fast. If the algae is attached form, surely they need certain part or certain organ which will be making their body to attach on the substratum, and that is the anchoring structure which is called hold fast. It is important, my dear children. Next, it has been said that they reproduce by means of vegetative, asexual and sexual methods. So, these are the three methods through which the algae reproduce. Number one is vegetative, next one is asexual, and the third one is sexual method. Vegetative reproduction takes place by fragmentation. Example, in case of Sargassum Spirogyra. So, Sargassum and Spirogyra are the example of algae in which we can see vegetative reproduction in the form of fragmentation. Here you can see fragmentation in Spirogyra. This is the structure of Spirogyra, filamentous form, and here you can see how that filament is being breaking down into two filaments. This is how the fragmentation is taking place. Now, the asexual reproduction takes place by the production of different types of spores like zoospores, and these zoospores they are having flagella in them, so that they can move from one place to another place. And zoospores, already the figure related to it I have shown you in the previous chapter. And next one is sexual reproduction take place by fusion of two gametes, that is the male gamete and the female gamete, or the positive strain or the negative strain. These will be there, and these gametes they will be fusing together in the case of sexual reproduction. Now, these gametes they can be flagellated and they may be in similar size. Example, Chlamydomonas. Sometimes they can be non-flagellated, but in that also they will be similar in size. Example, Spirogyra. Such type of reproduction where the gametes are similar in size, it is called isogamous. This also we have studied, isn't it? The gametes, if they are similar in size, the reproduction is called isogamous or isogamy. Now, the fusion of two gametes dissimilar in size. If there are two gametes and they are dissimilar in their size, the reproduction is termed as an isogamous, or it is also known as an isogamy. And the next one is the fusion between one large non-motile gamete and a smaller motile male gamete. One large and it is non-motile, flagella is not present here, and smaller motile male gamete. This is motile male gamete is called oogamous, and the example is Volvox, Fucus, etc. Volvox, Fucus are the algae in which we can see oogamous type of reproduction. So, here you can see 3 different types of reproduction taking place in the case of algae related to sexual reproduction, and that is isogamy, where you can see both are similar, the male as well as the female is similar. Again, sorry, this is female and this is male. Now, in the case of anisogamy, we can see here the female is larger in size and the male is smaller in size, that is dissimilar gamete, that is anisogamy. Now, in the case of oogamy, it is been said that the female gamete will be non-motile and the male gamete will be motile. So, this is the 3 methods of sexual reproduction taking place in the case of algae. Here again you can see this figure already was shown in the previous class, in the previous chapter, where you could have seen this figure as isogamy, this is anisogamy and this is oogamy. Now, the economic importance of algae. Carbon dioxide fixation is carried out by algae through photosynthesis, that is most of the algae, that is 75% of the algae which is present in this world is doing photosynthesis, isn't it? That is carbon dioxide fixation is being done by the most of the algae through photosynthesis. Number 2, these are primary producers of energy rich compounds. Such algae are Laminaria, Porphyra, Sargassum. Primary producers of energy rich compounds, so they are used as food. Laminaria, Porphyra, Sargassum, all they are used as food, as they are the primary producers of energy rich compound. Certain marine algae are there which produces large amount of hydrocolloid. This is important. And what are hydrocolloids? They are water holding substances. So, in the case of algae, especially the marine algae, they are producing large amount of hydrocolloids, and these hydrocolloids are water holding substances. For example, for transportation of any plant as such from one place to another place, these algae are used there for the transportation of such materials from one place to another place, and when they are kept in such algae, they will not be drying up, that is hydrocolloids. Example, algin from brown algae like kelp, that is kelp is a brown algae, it is the larger brown algae which is producing algin, which is a hydrocolloid. So, algin is a hydrocolloid produced from a brown algae, and that is kelp. Next one, carrageen is obtained from red algae. Certain red algae are producing carrageen, which is a hydrocolloid. So, algin and carrageen both are hydrocolloids. It is very, very important, my dear children. Next one you can see, agar is a gel like substance obtained from red algae like Gelidium and Gracilaria. What is agar? It is a gel like substance, and how it has been obtained? It has been obtained from red algae, and they are Gelidium and Gracilaria. This is again important, as in the question paper related to the name of the algae as well as name of the gel like substance used to ask, and you have to answer to it. Next one, agar is used as culture medium for bacteria and fungi in the laboratory. When there will be research done on bacteria and fungi, agar is used as culture medium there. Next one, it is used in the preparation of ice creams and jellies. Agar is used there in the preparation of ice cream as well as jellies, and agar is a gel like substance which is obtained from red algae, that is Gelidium and Gracilaria. Next one, it has been said that Chlorella and Spirulina are unicellular algae rich in protein and are used as food supplement by space travelers. Those who are going into the space, for them the food supplement is Chlorella and Spirulina. They used to grow Chlorella and Spirulina in the spacecraft, so that they will be getting the oxygen, and when they are releasing carbon dioxide, that will be taken by Chlorella and Spirulina, and they will be preparing the food, and that food will be used by these space travelers. All these are very, very important. Now, next thing, algae are classified into three main classes. Till now we have understood, or we learned the general feature of algae. Now we are going to study about the classes of algae in deep. Number 1, Chlorophyceae, that is green algae; Phaeophyceae, that is brown algae; Rhodophyceae, that is red algae. So you can see here algae are classified into three main classes: Chlorophyceae, Phaeophyceae and Rhodophyceae. Chlorophyceae, they are green algae. Chloro means green. Phyceae means algae. Pheo means brown. Phyceae means algae. Rhodo means red. Phyceae means algae. Now we are going to study about Chlorophyceae in detail. The plant body may be unicellular, colonial or filamentous. In the case of Chlorophyceae, the plant body will be maybe unicellular, colonial or filamentous. They bear chlorophyll A and B in their chloroplast. So, in the case of Chlorophyceae family or class, we can say the algae, those who are belonging to this family, they will be having the chlorophyll A and B in their chloroplast. Now, chloroplast may be discoid. Discoid means disc shape, plate like, that is in the form of a plate. Reticulate, that is, you may be knowing what is reticulate. In the case of leaf, when we see the veins of the leaf, it is reticulate in the case of dicot leaf, and in the case of monocot leaf like banana, we can see straight linings will be there in the leaf of banana, isn't it? So, reticulate means it is the leaves are interconnected, the veins are interconnected with each other. They are like net. So, that is reticulate. So, chloroplast in some algae it will be reticulate. Cup shaped, in the form of cup we can see the chloroplast in some of the algae, and it may be ribbon like also. So, in certain algae we can see the chloroplast in the form of ribbon like. So, the chloroplast may be discoid, plate like, reticulate, cup shaped, spiral or ribbon like. Now, again the important part is coming, that is storage bodies called pyrenoids are present in them which contain protein besides starch. So, in the case of Chlorophyceae algae, they are having the storage body where they will be storing the food reserves, and that storage bodies are called pyrenoid, and this pyrenoid will be having protein other than starch also. And the cell wall of this family is made up of cellulose. The vegetative reproduction is by fragmentation. Asexual reproduction is by flagellated zoospores. Sexual reproduction is by the formation of sex cells and may be isogamous, anisogamous or oogamous. So, all these technical terms we have already understood, isn't it? So, these points are very, very important. You can see the examples of Chlorophyceae family: Chlamydomonas, Volvox, Eulothrix, Spirogyra and Chara. Chlamydomonas, Volvox, Eulothrix, Spirogyra, Chara, etc. So, here this is Chlamydomonas, where you can see this is chloroplast, which is cup shape, isn't it? It is cup shape, and this is the storage body, that is called pyrenoid. Okay, my dear children, here you can see again this is chloroplast and this is pyrenoid. So, that is about the examples of Chlorophyceae family. Now, we are into the second class of the algae, and that is Phaeophyceae, which is also known as brown algae. They are multicellular, branched and filamentous. Example, Ectocarpus. Ectocarpus is the brown algae. Largest brown algae are called as seaweeds or sea kelp. The largest brown algae are also seen in the deep ocean, and those largest brown algae are called as seaweeds or sea kelp. They may be 100 meter in heights. Next one, chlorophyll A, C, carotenoid and xanthophylls are present. So, the pigment chlorophyll A will be there, chlorophyll C will be there. With that, the other accessory pigments are carotenoid as well as xanthophylls, which are present in them. And the color of this algae, which is brown in color, is due to the presence of xanthophyll pigment called fucoxanthin. This is important. So, fucoxanthin is the xanthophyll pigment which is imparting the brown color to these algae. Therefore, the name came as brown algae or Phaeophyceae. Now, the next part, which is again important, food is stored in the form of laminarin or mannitol. Mannitol and laminarin are the food which is stored there in the body of these algae. The plant body is attached to the substratum by a holdfast. Already we know that what is holdfast. Holdfast is an anchoring structure which is making the thallus or the body of the algae to be attached to the place where they are attached, and that place is called substratum. So, holdfast is a anchoring structure. And number 2, next one, it has been said that the stalk of the algae is called stipe. In the case of brown algae or Phaeophyceae, there is a stalk they are having, and that stalk is called stipe. And leaf like photosynthetic organs are present in them, and it is called frond. So, in case of Phaeophyceae, when we are comparing with the Chlorophyceae, they are little bit more developed, isn't it? They are little bit more developed as they are having holdfast. Number 2, stalk is present in them, which is called stipe, and they are having a leaf like photosynthetic organ which is called frond. Here you can see the figure. Here you can see this is leaf like photosynthetic organ which is called frond, and stalk which is present there in them, that is called stipe, and this is the holdfast through which the body of the algae will be attached to the substratum. So, holdfast, stipe and frond is present in Phaeophyceae family. Here again you can see another example. Holdfast is there. This is holdfast. Here you can see the frond, isn't it? In them air bladders are present there. Okay, here you can see this is the stipe, this is the holdfast, and these are the leaf like photosynthetic organ which is called frond. I think you would have understood, my dear children, related to the holdfast, the stipe as well as the frond It is very important. Now next is vegetative reproduction takes place by fragmentation as usual, which we have seen in the case of chlorophyceae. Asexual reproduction by biflagellated zoospores, which are pear shaped, the same thing which we have studied in chlorophyceae. Sexual reproduction is isogamous, anisogamous or oogamous. The same method we have studied in chlorophyceae also. And the example of Phaeophyceae family are Laminaria, Sargassum, Fucus. You can see here Ectocarpus already I told you related to the Phaeophyceae family, where you could have seen here, isn't it? It is multicellular branch filamentous. There I given you the example of Ectocarpus, and here it is, this is Ectocarpus. Multicellular branch, this is male and female sex organs, isn't it? Now here you can see this is Laminaria, leaf-like structure, lamina, from as they are having lamina, that is leaf-like structure, therefore the name came as Laminaria. This is the stipe and this is the holdfast. In the case of Fucus, you can see here, this is Fucus, which is a Phaeophyceae algae, and this one is the Sargassum, where you can see the frond, that is leaf-like structure. The stipe is present here, the stalk is present here, and this is the holdfast. So these are the examples of the brown algae. Again, this is important. And the third class of algae is Rhodophyceae. They are red due to the presence of red algae, that is R. phycoerythrin. The red algae, the name came because of the presence of red pigment in them, and that pigment is R. phycoerythrin. You may be knowing what is erythrin. Erythrin is red color, isn't it? The thallus is multicellular. The food is stored in the form as floridin starch. This is again important. As in case of Chlorophyceae, we have seen the stored food is protein other than the starch. And in the case of Phaeophyceae, we understood that the stored food is in the form of laminarin as well as mannitol. And here the stored food is in the form of floridin starch. Vegetative reproduction is by fragmentation, similar to the other two classes of algae. Asexual reproduction is by the formation of non-motile spores, that is the spores which are produced here through asexual reproduction. They do not have flagella or the locomotory organs, isn't it? So, non-motile spores are produced there through asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is by non-motile gametes. The sexual reproduction is taking place by the production of non-motile gametes, that is, it is little bit higher, or we can say in an advanced form. And here sexual reproduction may be isogamous, anisogamous or oogamous, which we studied in the previous two classes of algae. Example of Rhodophyceae are Gracilaria. Already this name is known to us, where we studied about Gracilaria, my dear children, in this class when we are learning and understanding about the economic importance of algae. There we understood about Gracilaria as well as Gelidium, isn't it? Gelidium and Gracilaria are the red algae which are producing agar. And next example is Polysiphonia, then Porphyra. All these are the examples of red algae. Here you can see these are the examples of red algae. Number one is Gracilaria. This is Gracilaria. Next one is Gelidium. This is Gelidium, Porphyra as well as Polysiphonia. So, these are the red algae, my dear children. Now, you are going to watch a video related to the algae, or I can say the classes of algae. So you can watch the video.
Here is the classification of algae. Algae classified into three main classes. First class is chlorophyceae. They are commonly called as green algae because they show resemblance to green land plants, both having cellulosic cell wall and starch as food reserve. Pigments like chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B are localized in chloroplast. Chloroplast also contain one or many storage bodies called pyrenoids. It contains protein and starch. Chlorophyceae reproduce vegetatively, asexually as well as sexually. The examples of chlorophyceae includes Chlamydomonas, Volvox, Eulothrix, Spirogyra and Chara. Next class of algae is Phaeophyceae, commonly called brown algae. It is a large group of multicellular marine algae, includes many types of seaweeds like kelps. Unicellular forms are absent in Phaeophyceae. The plant body is often differentiated into holdfast, strips and leaf-like photosynthetic organ called frond. It contains the fucoxanthin pigment, due to which it appears greenish-brown color. Color depends upon the amount of xanthophyll and fucoxanthin pigment is present in the alga. They also contain chlorophyll A and chlorophyll C. Phaeophyceae reproduce vegetatively, asexually as well as sexually. Vegetative reproduction by means of fermentation. Asexual reproduction is by biflagellated zoospores. Their examples are Ectocarpus, Laminaria, Sargassum and Fucus. Third class of algae is Rhodophyceae, commonly called as red algae. They are mostly marine. Few freshwater species also found. Commonly called red algae, they all are red in color due to the presence of pigment called phycoerythrin. Cell wall is made up of polysulfate esters along with pectin materials. In Rhodophyceae, vegetative reproduction is by means of fermentation and asexual reproduction is by non-motile spores. Sexual reproduction is highly specialized. Male sex organ is called spermatangia, which produce non-motile male gamete, which is called spermatium, and female sex organ is called carpogonium, which possess elongated receptive organ called trichogyne. Water is essential for fertilization. With the help of water, fertilization takes place. Coralline red algae accumulate calcium from seawater and deposit it in their body as calcium carbonate and play important role in the formation of coral atolls. They play more important role in the formation of coral atolls than that of coral animals. Their example includes Polysiphonia, Porphyra, Gracilaria and Gelidium.
With this, I am going to wind the session. My dear children, I think you would have understood these topics, or you would have understood about the algae, and it is very easy. It will be interesting if you will be studying and learning and understanding it by showing interest. With this, I wind up the session, and in the next session we will be meeting. Till then, take care.